fraudster and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up, because I'm ready to get on with it.
Very simple. We right now have a white supremacist that is sitting in the White House. He is backed up by other white supremacists. And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down.
Jasmine Crockett just took Donald and Melania Trump down live on national television. And this wasn't just any political debate. It was a calculated, fearless takedown that left the entire audience stunned.
Unfortunately, all of MAGA are beholden to their little leader, and they will do anything to get his stamp of approval.
In an unfiltered and powerful moment, Jasmine dismantled the Trump's public image, exposing contradictions and hypocrisy in a way no one had before. This wasn't about petty insults. It was about hard-hitting truths that had even the most loyal Trump supporters scrambling for a response. You won't believe what she said and the reaction that followed.
I want you to know that the crisis is here.
That's right.
I want you to know that the power belongs to the people, though, y'all.
That's right.
Do not feel powerless. In this moment, as the vice president said as she conceded the election, she said, dark times may be ahead of us, but she said it's only in the darkness that we can see the stars. I am telling you right now that the stars are right here. It is time for us to shine. It is time for us to be heard. It is time for us to make sure that they know we will.
And just imagine, we've got to go through this for a total of 4 years. I think that today will probably mean more to my district than my last swearing in, because we are definitely living in scarier times. And so I am so elated and grateful, number one, to have another opportunity to serve, but more importantly, to be able to share in my swearing in for a second term with the people that send me to DC, and again, the only people that can fire me, regardless of how many other people around the country want me to be fired. I want my district to always know that they will always be my priority, and they are always my focus.
This was a defining political moment, the kind that leaves a lasting impact. So stay tuned, because what unfolded next was nothing short of a reckoning. Jasmine held nothing back, and let's be real, when does she ever? But this time, she took things to an entirely new level. She called out Trump so directly that even his carefully crafted public persona seemed to crumble in real time. The moment was electrifying. Every point she made cut straight through the noise, leaving no room for spin or excuses. There was no dodging, no sugarcoating, just raw facts delivered with precision. The intensity of her words sent shockwaves through political circles, making this one of the most talked about moments of the week. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to subscribe. The political landscape is shifting fast, and these defining moments are shaping the future. You won't want to miss what's coming next.
So let me tell you something, Mr. Trump. You gonna learn a few lessons from us. And I'm gonna be the first one. You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out.
It all started when Donald Trump, once again, took to television to play the victim. He claimed the system was rigged, that he was being unfairly targeted, and that the world was out to get him. The same speech he's been giving since 2020, but this time it wasn't met with the usual applause. Instead, Jasmine stepped in and completely dismantled his narrative. She didn't just call out his complaints, she flipped them on their head and exposed the contradictions in his own words. This wasn't just another political clash. This was a defining moment where someone finally stood up and refused to let Trump control the narrative. At this point, Trump's repeated claims sound like a broken record, scratched, overplayed, and out of tune. But this time, there was no escaping the response. Jasmine turned the tables, took control of the conversation, and delivered one of the most impactful moments in recent political discourse. Jasmine was not having it.
Thought that it was okay to just tell the truth. Instead, we're pushing conspiracy theories, and some of them are killing people. It's the same thing that we have coming out of Doge. It's the reason that people are dying. It's the reason that farmers are losing their farms, because we continue to peddle conspiracy theories. It is time for us to say, Mr. President, guess what? Russia invaded Ukraine. Can we at least agree on that one? Facts matter. Y'all, this is literally potentially putting us into an international crisis. We may be heading towards the next world war because we have a president that wants to pal around with Putin and wants to do everything to make him feel good, including lying about who invaded who.
The Congresswoman from Texas, known for her sharp political wit and fearless debating skills, stepped up and delivered a verbal takedown so precise, even Trump's legal team had to take a moment to process. She didn't just call him out. She dismantled his entire narrative with facts, humor, and unshakable confidence. It wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a masterclass in setting the record straight. Every point she made landed with undeniable force, making it clear she wasn't here for empty rhetoric. First, she pointed out the obvious. Donald Trump has been playing the victim for longer than most reality TV shows last. He's always whining, she said, rolling her eyes in a way that practically spoke for the entire room. Always complaining about how unfair the system is. Sir, you are the system. Her delivery was flawless. You know that look someone gives when they hear something so absurd, they have to stop and reevaluate everything? That was the exact energy she brought to this moment.
Fraudster and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare.
The weight of her words made the contrast between Trump's claims and reality even more striking. Then, she hit him with the hard truth. Donald Trump has faced more witch hunts than an actual witch. He keeps acting like he's being unfairly targeted, when in reality, he's just experiencing consequences, something he's clearly not accustomed to. But she wasn't done. She shifted gears and brought up Trump's extensive legal troubles, comparing his indictments to a growing collection of collectibles. At this point, he's treating indictments like Pokemon cards. Gotta catch 'em all, she quipped, sending laughter through the crowd. And when someone in the audience chuckled, she doubled down. Honestly, he's gonna need a punch card soon. Buy 9 felonies, get the 10th one free. The reaction was instant. Social media erupted as Twitter, now known as X, exploded with reactions, memes, and endless commentary.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up, because I'm ready to get on with it. Not!
People were either cheering her on or debating the moment, but one thing was clear. Jasmine had just delivered one of the most unforgettable political moments of the year. The memes flooded in instantly. Trump's classic pout was photoshopped onto baby bottles, pacifiers, and even a toddler's high chair. One user quipped, "Jasmine Crockett just sent Trump to the shadow realm," while another posted a gif of Judge Judy rolling her eyes with the caption, "Cry more." As expected, Trump responded in typical fashion by taking to his social media platform and unleashing one of his signature all-caps rants. The post was filled with his usual complaints, accusations, and dramatic declarations of victimhood. But no amount of online outrage could undo what had just happened. Jasmine Crockett had done what needed to be done. She took Trump's long list of excuses, rolled them up like leftovers, and served them back to him, cold. Live on national television, Jasmine dismantled every falsehood, every exaggeration, and every attempt Trump had ever made to dodge accountability. She didn't just refute him, she dismantled him with precision, humor, and undeniable facts. It was the equivalent of watching a seasoned chef slow roast a meal to perfection. Every point she made was backed up with evidence, leaving Trump with nowhere to run. If this was truly a witch hunt, then Trump had been caught flying around on his broomstick, cackling and tossing subpoenas like failed magic spells.
I want you to know that the crisis is here.
That's right.
I want you to know that the power belongs to the people, though, y'all.
That's right.
Do not feel powerless. In this moment, as the vice president said as she conceded the election, she said, dark times may be ahead of us, but she said it's only in the darkness that we can see the stars. I am telling you right now that the stars are right here. It is time for us to shine. It is time for us to be heard. It is time for us to make sure that they know we will.
And let's not forget the legal circus surrounding him. At this point, Trump has more indictments than solid legal defenses. Actually, scratch that. He has more charges against him than competent lawyers representing him. And yet he still stumbles onto every stage, claiming to be the victim of some grand conspiracy. Jasmine wasn't buying it, and neither was anyone else. With a sharp dose of reality, she laid it out clearly. If Trump didn't want to be on trial all the time, maybe, just maybe, he could try not committing crimes. A groundbreaking concept, but apparently one that continues to escape him. Then Jasmine turned her attention to what Trump calls his perfect phone calls. Oh yes, those infamous calls, so flawless, they might as well be displayed in the Smithsonian, right next to a napkin with Nixon's signature. Trump has a habit of calling every questionable, potentially illegal conversation he's ever had perfect. At this point, it's fair to wonder if, in his world, a perfect call just means one that happened to be recorded. Jasmine wasn't having it. She practically rolled her eyes hard enough to send them straight to Mar-a-Lago, pointing out that normal people don't need to constantly defend their phone calls as not crimes. Imagine making a routine call to a family member, then immediately holding a press conference to announce, "That was a perfect call, the best call, no collusion, no quid pro quo." It's absurd, yet somehow, this has become Trump's standard response.
And just imagine, we've got to go through this for a total of 4 years. I think that today will probably mean more to my district than my last swearing in, because we are definitely living in scarier times. And so I am so elated and grateful, number one, to have another opportunity to serve, but more importantly, to be able to share in my swearing in for a second term with the people that send me to DC, and again, the only people that can fire me, regardless of how many other people around the country want me to be fired. I want my district to always know that they will always be my priority, and they are always my focus.
But Jasmine wasn't finished. She took a deep dive into the classified documents scandal, and let's just say she did not hold back. Comparing Trump's handling of classified files to a toddler caught red-handed with a crayon mural on the living room wall, she laid out the facts. Standing there with marker-covered hands, the kid denies everything. What crayon? I don't even know what crayons are. That's essentially how Trump has responded to allegations that he mishandled top-secret government documents. Jasmine didn't just stop at the excuses. She dragged the entire situation into the spotlight. She pointed out that Trump was stuffing highly classified materials into his golf bags like they were extra ketchup packets from a fast food drive-thru. Meanwhile, he acts completely baffled when federal agents come knocking, like a man who turned his own resort into a classified document storage unit and then wonders why authorities are concerned. She made one thing clear: if you don't want the FBI showing up at your front door, maybe don't treat national security secrets like misplaced luggage at the airport.
I want you to know that the crisis is here.
That's right.
I want you to know that the power belongs to the people, though, y'all.
That's right.
Do not feel powerless. In this moment, as the vice president said as she conceded the election, She said, dark times may be ahead of us, but she said it's only in the darkness that we can see the stars. I am telling you right now that the stars are right here. It is time for us to shine. It is time for us to be heard. It is time for us to make sure that they know we will.
By the time Jasmine finished, Trump had no response. No angry rants, no defensive statements, just silence. Because how do you recover from a reality check that brutal, that undeniable, and that perfectly delivered on live television? Jasmine Crockett didn't just expose Trump. She dismantled his entire illusion in real time. She left no room for excuses, no space for gaslighting, just the undeniable truth. And the best part? He couldn't do a thing about it. This moment will be remembered as a masterclass in calling out corruption, deception, and hypocrisy in politics. If you made it this far, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going because there's always more to uncover. See you in the next one.